Elizabeth Hines here from our Paleo family and the Autoimmune-Free Cooking Club, and it is just a little over 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So if you're like me, you probably have the big day all scheduled out. But I know I'm a little bit obsessive, I'm a little bit controlling, maybe a little type A. So most people are probably not like me, and you perhaps have not even thought about Thanksgiving. But I'm here to help you figure out how you can have a fabulous holiday with amazing food and feel good at the end of it and not completely derail your health and your diet. I know that a lot of you are here watching my channel because you're trying to change the way you eat, and by changing the way you eat, change your life, change your health, improve it for the better. I know there's a lot of chronic conditions out there. I primarily, as a functional medicine health coach, work with people with autoimmune disease. That's my personal experience. That's what I've studied the most. But the same changes that can help someone with an autoimmune condition can help many, many, many other, I would venture to say almost all, chronic conditions, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, that sort of thing. So, as a child, I was always sick on Thanksgiving, way back when I probably was in the early stages of Crohn's disease, but certainly we had no idea that there was actually something wrong with me. I think my parents and probably myself, I just thought, oh, I ate too much, so I feel sick. But I would, physically be ill every year at Thanksgiving. And I started, as I got, year after year went by, I thought, well, maybe it's a particular thing I'm eating, so I would stop eating one particular dish and I would still be sick, and it just stinks. That's no fun because family comes over. I've always loved Thanksgiving. We grew up spending Thanksgiving at my grandparents' farm. I loved it. It was my favorite holiday, even over Christmas. And when you're sick, then you're not getting to enjoy all the best parts of the holiday, which is really the people. But I know that the food piece is super important. There are traditions that are passed down. Maybe it's your first time hosting Thanksgiving and you want to really impress your in-laws or your new spouse, or you just want to do a good job. You want to make food that tastes good. You want to enjoy it. You want to not lose your mind in the process and stay healthy. Well, I'm going to hopefully help you do that. And here's just a little bit of tough love. Heading into the holidays, you don't have to just throw away your healthy eating plan. It is not just a given that you will be good 10 months of the year. In November and December, you'll just eat a bunch of garbage, you'll drink a whole bunch of alcohol and quit exercising. It doesn't have to be that way. You can get all the way through the holidays without gaining an ounce. You can even lose a pound or two. You're really busy, you're probably shopping, being a little bit more active, you might lose a couple pounds. It's possible. I've done it. You don't have to be sick because you're just going to give in and eat that food that isn't really the best for you, but it's what's there. You don't want to be a bother, or you don't want to bother yourself to try to make something different. No, go ahead and make that commitment to yourself. You are on this path. You're making progress. Let's keep it going. I would love to help you. If you want some personal coaching, that's what I do. I'm the functional medicine health coach. I'd love to help you with your particular hang-ups or roadblocks, or whatever it is that is keeping you from making progress with your health journey. Don't let the holidays do that for you, because then you'll end up at the beginning of the year either starting over or further back than you were before the holidays, or you'll be beating yourself up. Then you bring in that whole emotional piece. So let's not do that this year. But today I want to talk to you specifically about Thanksgiving and how I plan my week so that Thanksgiving Day can be relaxed. I can watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade with my kids. I can take a walk with my husband. I can enjoy my company. And we can still eat really, really good food. So I'm going to give you videos. I've already made 2 turkey videos. They're all these... let's see, this video will come out first, and then I'll have a bunch of recipes after this, but I'll come back and I'll link the other ones to it. But I have already published how to cook a turkey. get your fresh turkey, from unwrapping it, pulling the giblets out, all the way to finished turkey and gravy. That came out, I think 2 years ago I did that one. And then I have just recently published a turkey breast in the Instant Pot. So we've already covered the turkey. And I'm going to show you this week how to make dressing or stuffing, whatever you want to call that, sweet potato casserole, cranberry relish, and a German chocolate pecan pie. So of course these are just examples, but I know lots of people like pumpkin pie. I have a great pumpkin pie recipe too, but the German chocolate pecan is a little special and it's not really that much work. So I thought you might enjoy seeing that. But let's just talk about the logistics of the week. You need to plan. You need to get your calendar out. You need to pull out your recipes you're planning to prepare. Maybe your given recipes. You know, hey, these are the recipes we cook in our family. If you're going to host, you got to make these recipes. Maybe you're starting from scratch and you're scouring the internet looking for recipes. Get your recipes together. Make your grocery list. Check your pantry. You don't want to get to the last minute and realize you don't have an ingredient that you really need, because that is super stressful. We're trying to keep the stress low. I will pop in here and say, we will link this below. I think it's been 3 years ago now, I wrote a holiday cookbook called Your Paleo Holiday, and it has lots of Thanksgiving recipes in it. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and on and on. But it does cover all these basics of Thanksgiving, several pies, lots of goodies. So if you want to have that nice ebook version of all these recipes, you can purchase that at the links we'll put down in the notes. So you're hosting Thanksgiving and you're making the turkey and the dressing and all that stuff. Maybe your guests are going to bring a fresh green salad, some green beans, some different vegetables. That's a great thing to ask your guests to bring. People like to be helpful. They would like to bring something. Let them bring those sides and you can make the core of the meal, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do this week. But early in the week, you can get your house ready. You can get your guest bedrooms ready, get the bathrooms clean, fresh towels out, all that kind of stuff. Regarding the meal, on Monday, you can make your cranberry relish. It lasts a long time in the fridge, and it actually gets better and better. So go ahead and make that cranberry relish early. I have made a PDF Thanksgiving checklist that talks about what to do early in the week, what to do 2 days before, what to do 1 day before, and what to do on the big day. On that particular list, I have said to make your cranberry salad 2 days before, because that's just what I do. I usually start my cooking 2 days before, but you can even make it the weekend before. It's the one that has the longest shelf life. So make your cranberry salad whenever you feel like it, early on, way before Thanksgiving Day. But also early in the week, you have gotten your house ready for guests, you have made your grocery list, you've purchased all your non-perishable groceries, anything, and you've made a little short list, hopefully, of what you need to get at the last minute. If you're using a frozen turkey, you absolutely need to have it a week before Thanksgiving, because depending on the size, it could take a week to thaw. You need to just look it up on the internet and put in the weight of your turkey, and you will find how long it's going to take to thaw in your refrigerator. That information is available, so I don't need to recreate that for you. But be prepared. If you're buying frozen turkey, which is the most economical way to go, it's going to take a long time to thaw. 1 day is not enough. 2 days is not enough. Whenever I've bought a frozen turkey, I'm shocked at how long it takes to thaw. So give yourself plenty of time. If you're buying a fresh turkey, you only want to buy it at most 2 days ahead. You don't want fresh poultry sitting around for very long. I usually order mine and plan to pick it up the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Okay, so that's early in the week. Also early in the week, you can, and I said this on my checklist, I said to do this 2 days ahead, just not the day right before, okay? Earlier in the week. Get out your serving dishes. You likely have not used these serving dishes in a long time. If you're going to use your fancy, maybe your fancy wedding china, go ahead and get that stuff out. Set the table, make your place cards. Your kids can get involved in this part. My kids always enjoyed making the place cards and choosing who's going to sit where, and they would draw little pictures on them. And we still have those and use those today. So that's really fun. I'm going to see if I can find a picture of our kids' table. I'm sure I have one from years ago. We have hosted up to 20 something people, so we would have you know, the traditional adult table in the dining room and the kids' table in the kitchen. And I bought that big roll of craft paper. I would cover the whole table with the craft paper, tape it down so it's not going anywhere. And I made a turkey. I had a styrofoam ball and just wrapped it in brown yarn, just around. The kids helped me make that years ago. And then you make like a little turkey head out of construction paper, and the feathers of the turkey are crayons. So you just stick crayons all through, you know, the yarn on this little ball, and it's a little turkey centerpiece. And the kids would just pull the crayons out, the feathers out, and color all over the table. I mean, they had the best time. They tried to cover every square inch of the paper on the table with their drawings, and they would play tic-tac-toe and all sorts of things. So that was a really fun way to do a kid table and also protect your table at the same time. So at least 2 days before, get your table done, get your serving pieces out, decide what you're putting in each serving piece, and put a sticky note in there. Hey, this one's for the mashed potatoes, and get the spoon and stick it in there. That way, when it's time to serve everything up, it's already in there. No questions. You're not scrambling. You're not having to reach into the high cupboards. Everything's ready for you. So 2 days before, I'm looking at my little list. I think I was just trying to break it all up. 2 days before, I said make the cranberry salad, set the table, select your serving dishes, and make your place cards and decide on the seating chart. So you could do that 2 days ahead, or you could even do that earlier in the week. I know a lot of people, if you're working, you may have Wednesday off, or you may decide to take that off if you're hosting. So the real hard work begins 1 day before. So Wednesday, you can make the sweet potato casserole. You can make it in its entirety, just don't bake it. So you get it all ready, the toppings on it and everything. Cover it, stick it in the fridge, and then it's ready to bake on Thanksgiving. You can make your pie crust, however many pies you're going to make. Make your crust, roll it out, get it in your pan, crimp the edges, have it all ready, and cover it and put it in your fridge. Sometimes if it's cold outside, I'll just put it in my garage, so that might be an option for you as well. Save some refrigerator space. You're going to want to get your bread for your dressing made. So I have finally made a paleo bread recipe, and I'll be sharing that with you at some point in the future. That's going to be a gift for my the members of the Autoimmune-Free Cooking Club, but you'll see me use it when I make the dressing. So you'll want to make your bread, and I also use my paleo cornbread. Make that a day ahead. You could make the cornbread and the bread 2 days ahead too, because you want to slice it, break it, or break it up into pieces, and just lay it out on baking trays and let it start drying out a little bit. When you make dressing, you want the bread to be dry so you can then hydrate it with really flavorful stuff. So at least 1 day ahead, get your bread all laid out. And then you can clean and chop any other vegetables. If you're going to make traditional mashed potatoes, you can peel and cut your potatoes, put them in the pot you're going to cook them in, cover the potatoes with water and put on a lid, and put them someplace cold, refrigerator, or just a garage that's cold. Other vegetables, you can just go ahead and clean them and cut them. Broccoli, cauliflower, carrots. You can just have those fresh vegetables chopped and ready to go in your refrigerator to cook the next day. So that's all the day before, and you might have to do some last minute grocery shopping. And then on the big day, this is how I would organize my day. And we would typically eat our meal around like a late lunchtime, 1 or 2, something like that. First thing in the morning, I would bake my pie, because pies typically bake at different temperatures, 375, 400. Like a fruit pie, you start it really high, 425, and then you turn it down to 350. So pies have more differing or varying temperatures. So I bake my pies first and get them out of the way, set them up wherever I'm setting up desserts. And then get my turkey ready and roast my turkey. Really watch that video on how to prepare the turkey if you have not made a fresh turkey before, because there are lots of little pieces to it that you need to think about. Like, before you open it up, get your Clorox wipes and your paper towels ready so you can prevent any potential salmonella. Just lots of little tips are in that video, so I highly recommend you watch that one if you're preparing a turkey. But then you'll get your turkey in. Again, Read the instructions. Your turkey probably comes with cooking instructions to give you an idea of how long to cook it for the size. If it doesn't, just look it up. Or call the Butterball hotline. You know, that information is available on the internet to see how long you're going to need to roast your turkey. Then when your turkey comes out, you want it to rest for a while so all the juices can come back in. If you slice it, as soon as you pull it out, it'll just release all of its juice and it'll be dry. Nobody likes a dry turkey. So you'll pull your turkey out, put some foil on top of it, let it sit and just hang out. And it is hot, right? It's been in the oven for hours. It's not getting cold. It's totally fine. And that's when you'll put your casseroles in. You'll have made your dressing. Oh, I ignored the dressing. The dressing I make the day of Thanksgiving as well. You can't mix it up the day before. That gets into a food safety issue. You could bake your dressing. You could make it entirely as long as you bake it the day before and then just heat it up on Thanksgiving if you want to do that. The dressing, I think, is just so much better fresh. Of course, my husband might disagree because he'll eat it leftover for days and days and days, and he loves it. It is, of course, delicious leftover, but I make the dressing the day of Thanksgiving. All those casseroles can bake at the same temperature. 350, 30 to 45 minutes. It's probably going to take a little bit longer because you'll have more things in your oven. But that's sort of the progression of the day. The pie's early, and then the turkey, and then all the casseroles go in. And while all those casseroles are baking, you can be filling up drinks or, you know, talking with your guests. You're not futzing around with a bunch of last minute stuff because it's really all just in the oven baking. Even, you know, we would typically make broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots, just steam those and then put a cheese sauce on them. You can make that entirely the day before, and then you would bake it like a casserole to heat that up. So really think through your menu, think through your day, what time you want to eat, start to work backwards from the time that you want to eat. Don't ask your guests to come at 3 and plan to sit down and eat at 3. You know, if you want to eat at 3, ask your guests to come at 2 or 2:30 at the latest. So, you know, you give people time to be late, give yourself that little grace period. And think about your recipes too. You know, I'm going to show you some Thanksgiving classics made in a paleo way. And of course, I think they're great, but you know, you may have a different recipe that is traditional in your family. Look at it and see if there's some way you can make it better suit your health goals. For example, does it have a lot of sugar? Does it need all that sugar? Can you replace all of it with a sugar substitute? Can you replace half of it? Can you just leave half of it out? A lot of times you can leave a lot of sugar out of things. My mom's sweet potato casserole recipe is really tasty, but it had a ton of sugar in it, and I've left almost all of that out because sweet potatoes are sweet. You know, you don't really need 2.5 cups of brown sugar or whatever it was. It was really a crazy amount. Look at your recipes and see if there's something you can do to make them healthier. I highly recommend you not eat gluten if you have an autoimmune condition. People will say, well, I have an autoimmune condition, but it doesn't affect my gut, so I can eat gluten. Well, the fact is, your body, if you have an autoimmune condition, your body is most likely recognizing gluten as a part of your body. It's biological mimicry. And so when you eat gluten, your body attacks itself. And it might not affect your gut, it might affect your hair, it might affect your skin, it might affect your joints or your thyroid. But it is reacting to gluten. It's just the way autoimmunity works. So if you have a very favorite recipe that includes like a traditional wheat flour, can you replace that with even just gluten-free flour? You don't even have to go all the way paleo. Could you make it gluten-free? And you know what? It's 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. How about try it? You know, if it's a Thanksgiving favorite, everybody would probably love to eat it another time. We don't just have to eat these special foods on Thanksgiving. So if you're nervous about trying something like that and serving it to your company, go ahead and try it ahead of time. So these are just a couple tips to help you really start thinking through the holiday. And I'm going to give, and I gave you practical tips how to plan the week. And also I'm going to show you these recipes, how you can make them. make them in a way without inflammatory foods, inflammatory ingredients that are going to taste really good. You're going to enjoy eating them. And at the end of the meal, you're going to be able to say, wow, I just had a delicious meal and actually feel good. And the next day, you're not going to wake up with your symptoms all flaring up because you ate a bunch of stuff the day before that really was not good for your body. I've been eating Thanksgiving this way for many years now, and I'm super satisfied. My whole family is satisfied. The food is really good, and it just takes, like everything else, a little forethought and a little planning, but you can do it. And I would love to help you. If you have questions, just leave comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So happy planning. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm thankful for you. We're almost up to 5,000 subscribers, which is super exciting. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that little bell so you'll get notified when new videos come out. And if you are sad that you missed out on the Autoimmune-Free Cooking Club membership when I had my beta launch in October, we'll be opening up for enrollment again January 6th. So put that on your calendar. If you want me to remind you, go to the website, autoimmunefreecookingclub.com. A little screen will pop up and you can put your name and email address in there. I will get you on my list so you will be notified, so you will be able to get in the next time enrollment opens. And I will also send you a meal planning guide that will help you plan your meals day to day, week to week, which is something that is super important if you're trying to manage your disease with diet and lifestyle. All right, everybody, come back tomorrow, or it might be 2 days from now. We'll see how fast my video editor gets this done. Come back for our first Thanksgiving recipe. All right, see you next time.